Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This is another memo from the bunker. It's June 2nd. Now, last word I got, we're going to be allowed out as of June 10th. That's been moved back so many times I don't believe it anymore, but it really hasn't stopped me from going and doing the things that I need to do. But it has stopped a bunch of people. We just got word that a friend of ours is going to be facing bankruptcy if she can't get her gym open soon. She's supposed to be opening in 2 weeks, but it seems that gyms aren't on the open list. So we'll just have to see. I watched Adam Savage's live broadcast this morning. It was a recorded version of it, of course, but it was interesting. I really enjoyed it, and his comments about dogs really do hold true. I'll leave a link in the description so that you guys can track to it. And if I can, I'll leave a link up here. So, let's talk about the main subject of his video, which was, do you ever feel the imposter syndrome? Now, the meaning of imposter syndrome is that you feel like you don't belong doing what you're doing. You feel like you're faking it. As the saying goes, fake it until you make it. Well, sometimes you feel like you're not going to make it. I'm going to give you a little story about my experience with imposter syndrome and flipping of the story. I was a young man. I was about 26, 27, working at Borg Warner. And when I worked at Borg Warner, I started out as a guy who flipped radiators and dipped them out of radiator dip pot to solder the headers. I had skills that I could do more, but the job opening was for that. And the idea was to work for Borg Warner because in Coldwater, Borg Warner was considered a plum job. Paid well. Nice place to work. So anyways, I started flipping radiators and dipping them. Then an opening came in the maintenance department, and I moved into maintenance, which was my basic skill set. Machine repair, fabrication, electrician, welder. And things progressed well. One day, I needed to order some parts for a machine that we were working on. And I went and told my boss I had to order these parts, and he said, go ahead and call them up. So I called the company and asked for a chance to speak to the parts department. And I got handed off to this guy. Now, I don't know the guy, never met him, he was on the phone. But after a couple of minutes of him trying to explain something that I couldn't understand the way he was explaining it, he said, have an engineer call me, and hung up the phone. Well, that was pretty bad. I felt crushed. So I went to my boss and I said, they won't talk to me, they want an engineer. And I was thinking he was going to take one of the engineers from the engineering department. He was the boss of the engineering department. And had one of the engineers call. He said, tell him you're a process engineer. Everybody's a process engineer. So I thought, well, okay. Worst that can happen is I'll get feeling crappy again. So I got on the phone, called the company back, got a different person. Might have been the reason for it. Anyways, I said I was a process engineer with Borg Warner and I needed to order this part and I was looking for some information about it. Answered all my questions, clearly in a way I could understand, and I got the part. I thought, wow, all I had to do was say I was a process engineer. Now at the time, I had taken a couple of college classes. I had a high school graduation, and because I needed some credits in electrical work and some credits in welding, I had taken a class in welding and a class in electrical work. So I had an apprenticeship card as an electrician, but I had no basis for calling myself an engineer. Didn't have a degree, not even an associate degree. But as time went on, I realized that saying I was a process engineer made all the difference in the world. Now, you get in situations where you're just way in over your head. The crap's deep and you can't find a shovel anywhere. And the only thing that I've learned is moving forward, you may fail. Standing still is a guaranteed fail. So, if you feel like you're just faking the job, a lot of people are. If they're able to do that and make it work, then they're what they say they are. Adam Savage said he felt unqualified for some of the jobs that he was doing. I never thought that the guy was unqualified for anything that he attempted. But then I don't know him personally. But I do know that I took that process engineering position, and when I went looking for work elsewhere, I said I was a process engineer at Borg Warner. And I got a job, and then I pushed that into a 9-year stay at United Technologies, and I pushed that into a stay at Metal Powder Components, 3 years. And then I went on to becoming, just before I retired, I became a project engineer at Dimmer Corporation. All because I said I was. Never give up. Never give in. Keep moving forward. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.